Next comic coming to stage. Hilarious dude. He performs all over the Midwest. This is his stand-up debut. And we're all very excited to see him. Put your hands together for John Eide!
Oh, man. That's an aggressive reaction. Thank you. That's great. Oh. Guys, I moved here from Des Moines, Iowa. Anyone? All right, we'll commiserate later. It was a weird thing. Like when I told people in Des Moines I was moving to Chicago, they were like, "John, are you sure? Aren't you afraid of the crime?" And I was like, "Yes, very." Because Des Moines had some of the crime, but it seems like Chicago has all of it. And that's a monopoly, and that's also a crime. So go directly to jail, right? It's weird. It's a weird transition to go from Des Moines to Chicago because it's just different, right? Like, it's not going to shock you if I say that Des Moines and Chicago are two different places, but I can only illustrate it. The best I can illustrate it is like this. This happened pretty quick after I moved here. It was 3 o'clock on a Wednesday. I was waiting for a train. There was a man next to me. Across the tracks, waiting for a train going in the opposite direction, was a woman. The man did this. "Yo, baby, you want to fuck?" And the woman looked at the man and was like, "Yeah, okay." And then they walked off parallel to each other, apparently to go do that somewhere. That's crazy. Guys, I'm married. I wouldn't yell that at my wife if she was in the kitchen and I was in the living room. This guy's yelling across train tracks. So move over, Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks, because this is the most romantic couple of the century now. How good would those movies have been those two instead, right? Just, "You've got mail." "Yo, baby, you want to fuck?" Sleepless in Seattle, you're on the air. "Yo, baby, you want to fuck?" "I want to be big." Okay, there's only two. I'm sorry. There's only two examples. I was doing that at a show, and a guy sitting right about where you were whispered to his buddy, and I heard him, and he goes, "I wish that was my ringtone." And I was like, "We can make that happen." So I stopped the show and I had him pass his phone up and I recorded that into his phone. I think that gives me the greatest goal of anybody in the city of Chicago, which is to be out at a bar, hear my voice coming out of somebody else's phone. Just, "Yo, baby, you want to fuck? Yo, 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 baby, you want to fuck?" See him lean over and be like, "Guys, I got to take this." And just be like, "No, Mom, I'm busy. Can I give you a call back? I'm just making moves over here." I am married. I like being married. It's a weird thing when you tell your friends that you're going to get married. Like, I told my buddies, like, "You know what? I'm engaged. I'm going to get married." And all my buddies were like, "Hey, man, are you sure you want to do that? You know, a lot of the passion and the excitement leaves a relationship when you get married." And I was like, "Thank you for your support, man. I'm really glad that I picked you as a groomsman." But guys, that did not happen for us. I'm very happy to say this. In fact, we got heavy into role playing. Anyone who's a couple role players out there? Oh, some people looked away but won't want to raise their hand. Yeah. I'll give you a fun one to take home. Our favorite game to play is Homeless Guy, which is where, while she's taking a shower, I walk into the bathroom and start cleaning the shower door with a newspaper. And then she politely tells me she doesn't have any change. It's hot. It's steamy too, but I think that's mainly the shower, so I don't want to give it too much. When you do stand-up comedy, a lot of people are like, "Why do you do stand-up? Like, what brings you in front of strangers to talk about the most intimate details of your life?" And I think for me, it's because I have an awkward relationship with my dad. And I think that started when I was in 3rd grade and I forged my teacher's name and I came home and I got caught for it. And my dad sat me down and he goes, "You know, John, that's illegal. You can go to jail for that." And I was like, I'm in 3rd grade. I don't want to go to jail. And then he told me to go upstairs and pack a bag because that's where he was taking me. Yeah. So I went upstairs and I packed my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle backpack because I wasn't going to be the biggest guy in jail, but I was definitely going to be the coolest. And I was crying and I hugged my mom and my sister goodbye. And I went out to get into the front seat of the car, and my dad was like, hold on, criminals sit in the back. So I got in the back seat, and I was crying, and I don't know if he knew somebody that worked at the jail or something like that, but when I got there, not only did I get to see the inside of a cell, but I got to be inside of a cell with the door closed. Yeah. But guys, when I got out 10 years later, I really think I'd learned my lesson. I do a lot of comedy in bars. One time after a show, a guy came up to me and he goes, hey, come take a shot with me. I'm celebrating. And I was like, I like shots. Let's go do this. So we walked up to the bar and he bought the shots and we were about to take them. And I go, wait, what are we celebrating? And he said, I don't do drugs anymore. And I was like, that's a good thing to celebrate. Except he kept talking and his full statement was, I don't do drugs anymore. That's right. No more marijuana, no more crack, no more cocaine. Just peyote and heroin from here on out. And I was like, I don't know what we're celebrating anymore. Because that would be like me being like, you know what, I'm really into comic books. They're ruining my life. I'm too into them. So no more comic books, no more graphic novels. I'm just going to dress up like Batman and fight crime. It's like, that's the worst one. That's the one. You just stop that and then ease back, you know? And the other thing is, I like not to brag, but guys, I graduated from the DARE program. A couple others. That's great. Yeah. And so I know that marijuana is a gateway drug. And I didn't know how to explain to him that by quitting marijuana but continuing to do heroin, he was shutting that gate. But he was on the wrong side of it. Right? Like we've all heard the phrase, the grass is always greener on the other side. But that is not the most important characteristic about the grass, okay? The color is not the most important thing about the grass. The most important thing about the grass is always a misdemeanor. I do, lately, like I talked about my dad already, and the thing with my dad is that my dad is 67 years old. He is now a retired man. He used to be executive vice president of an insurance company, and clearly he's bored because he has started taking creative writing classes, which is weird. So now sometimes when I wake up in the morning, I have samples of his writing that he wants me to critique. And here's the issue that I have with it. He sucks. He's not good at it. He writes like a 14-year-old who's never had sex. And by that I mean it only sounds like he's talking about sex. Until the end when he when he reveals what it was all really about. And it wasn't sex at all. The hard thing with that is that he's married to my mom. So what it sounds like is very specific scenarios of him cheating on my mom until he reveals at the end that no, he wasn't. Guys, this is a real excerpt. He wrote this. Yep. Yeah. This is a fun one. I sneak out of the house and unleash my steed. The rhythmic pumping keeps me focused until I'm exhausted. Guys, that piece is about his love of riding bikes. So I get to see something that, like, nobody gets to see. I get to awkwardly watch my dad go through puberty in front of me. while I try to figure out how he got my mom to begin with. Guys, I'm Marty McFly. Except the difference between me and Marty McFly is those 10 years I spent in jail. Guys, my name is John Eide. Thank you so much.
John Eide, ladies and gentlemen.